There will come a time when the universe grows quiet. Not suddenly, not with violence, but with a silence so gradual it is almost impossible to notice. The stars, as we know them, are not eternal. Each one is a delicate balance between gravity pulling inward and nuclear fusion pushing outward, a quiet resistance against collapse. But fusion requires fuel, and fuel is finite. Over trillions of years, the brightest stars will vanish first. Massive, luminous giants, burning quickly, fading into darkness. What remains are smaller stars, red dwarfs, slow and patient, capable of shining for up to 10 trillion years. They will become the last steady lights in the cosmos. But even they cannot last forever. Eventually, hydrogen will be exhausted, fusion will cease, and the universe will begin to dim. Galaxies will drift farther apart, carried by the expansion of space itself, a consequence of what we call dark energy. Not a force we fully understand, but one we can measure, one that ensures distant galaxies will slip beyond reach, faster than light can bring their glow to us. To any observer in that far future, the universe will appear smaller, lonelier, as if everything beyond their local galaxy has simply disappeared. This is not destruction, it is isolation, a slow, inevitable forgetting. And in that quiet, as the last stars begin to fade, humanity will face a question, not how to survive, but how to be remembered. Chapter 2. The Limits of Memory. Memory is not as permanent as it feels. Even now, within your own mind, it shifts, fades, reshapes itself over time. But beyond biology, memory requires something more enduring, a structure, a medium, a place where information can exist without constant renewal. On Earth, we store memory in fragile forms: ink on paper, magnetic patterns, electrical states within silicon, all of them vulnerable to time, to heat, to entropy. Entropy, the quiet law that governs all things, the gradual movement from order to disorder. It does not rush, it does not pause, it simply continues. In the far future, even the most advanced civilizations will face this same truth. No structure can resist entropy forever. Atoms vibrate, materials decay. Even the most stable particles may not be eternal. Protons themselves may slowly decay, a process not yet observed but predicted by certain theories. If true, it would mean that matter itself is temporary. Galaxies fade, stars disappear, and eventually, even matter begins to dissolve into radiation. So the question becomes, how do you preserve a memory in a universe where nothing lasts? Some possibilities exist: encoding information in low energy states, reducing change, slowing decay, spreading memory across vast distances so that no single loss erases everything. But even these are temporary solutions, because the universe itself is evolving toward a state of maximum entropy, a condition often called the heat death. A universe where no energy gradients remain, no work can be done, no new memories can be formed. Only what already exists lingers, faintly. And so, if humanity wishes to leave behind a final message, it must choose carefully how and where that memory will rest. Chapter 3. Where a message could survive. If nothing lasts forever, then survival becomes a matter of time. Not eternity, but endurance. In the late universe, certain places will remain stable far longer than others, not because they resist physics, but because they obey it more slowly. White dwarfs, the dense remnants of stars, will persist for trillions of years, cooling gradually, fading into what scientists call black dwarfs. Objects so cold they emit almost no light. Neutron stars, even denser, may endure longer still, their matter compressed to extremes we can barely imagine, a single teaspoon weighing billions of tons. And then there are black holes, the most stable structures we know. Not eternal, but enduring beyond almost everything else. Black holes do not simply consume. They also, very slowly, evaporate, a process described by Hawking radiation. Over unimaginable spans of time, they lose mass, particle by particle, until even they disappear. Yet, compared to stars, compared to galaxies, a black hole is a monument, a structure that could outlive nearly all forms of matter. Some theories suggest that information is not truly destroyed within a black hole, that it is preserved, encoded in ways we do not yet fully understand. If this is true, then perhaps a message placed near such an object could endure longer than anywhere else. Or perhaps the answer lies not in matter, but in patterns, in radiation, in quantum states, in the fabric of space-time itself. A message not written in words, but in the arrangement of reality. Something subtle, something resilient, something that does not fight entropy, but moves with it. Because in the end, survival is not about resisting the universe. It is about choosing where to rest within it. Chapter 4. The Final Message. At the end, there is no audience, no distant civilization waiting to receive a signal, no future mind guaranteed to listen. The universe is not obligated to remember. And yet, the act of leaving a message remains, not as a demand, but as a gesture, a quiet declaration that something once existed. Humanity, like all complex systems, is temporary, a brief emergence of order in a universe that trends towards stillness. Thought, consciousness, meaning, all arising from physical processes. And yet, within that brief window, we learned to observe the cosmos, to measure it, to understand its laws. We discovered that every atom in our bodies was forged inside stars, that the carbon, the oxygen, the iron, all began in stellar cores. In that sense, we are not separate from the universe. We are one of its expressions. So perhaps the final message is not a warning, not a plea, not even a story, but a simple statement encoded in whatever medium can endure the longest. That matter once arranged itself into beings who could ask questions, who could feel wonder, who could look into the darkness and understand, even briefly, what they were seeing. And that, for a moment, the universe became aware of itself. Then, slowly, it returned to silence.